guys, welcome back to Off the Record, where we talk about whatever we want. Who are you flipping off?
He was flipping you off, I was flipping him off.
Oh, thank you.
He got mad.
Technically, I was doing it to myself because I was doing it to the reflector, so it came back to me.
But they can't see the reflector. Ew, you're playing with your nose?
That's skills.
Watch him forget and put it in his mouth again.
I do.
He even said it. I do.
But it's blowing out, not in.
Doesn't matter. It went in your mouth.
And then he like scratches his back with it, and he has like the back grease on
Oh
the
yeah,
mouth.
that's true. He does that
I hope
too.
that somebody out there just stumbled on this channel. They clicked on this video. They saw Joe blowing the flute through his nose, and then they reached over and clicked subscribe.
Oh
I hope one person out there just did that.
Comment if you did.
That would be tight.
Come on, baby. You know that's what it's all about. People stay for this.
That's right.
True. You're the draw.
Welcome to the show, Mari.
Thanks. What are we gonna talk about today?
Whatever we want, Mari.
Whatever we
want.
You ever want to talk about something, but you don't get to, but now you get to?
Yeah, is there anything you ever wanted to get off your chest that you're embarrassed to talk about in
Do
public?
you want to tell us everything about Smosh?
I feel like there's not even any dirt. It's like it came from.
But can you just make something up, please?
Yeah, give us something.
Yeah, the studio has Disneyland Park inside of it. There you go. I'm just kidding.
You made it really cool news. That's not
To make it up.
Like Smosh was a front the whole time, and they were running drugs.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's pretty cool. That's
Ian
cool.
was actually like a straight up drug lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. His real name is Tony, and that's his full name.
Wow, Ian chose Anthony as a full name.
Hey, Tony. They're both Tony.
Very interesting.
No, I mean, I feel like I wish there was more dirt, but I think it came from a bad place, and then now it's going into a better place, and
Oh, success stories.
yeah,
Are you wearing a Destiny jacket?
I sure am.
What's Destiny?
It's a game.
Video game.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Is it fun? Is it good?
I was very obsessed with the first Destiny game.
Yeah.
And
you don't
then
like the new one?
No, I played a healthy amount of 2 as well, but I think I got sidetracked with other games that came out.
What are you playing
What
now?
like right now, Apex?
I still Apex scares me. There's so much pressure.
What is it about? I don't even know.
I don't know what it's about, honestly.
What scares you
but
about it?
it's like there's only 3 people on a team, so I feel like there's a lot of pressure. Like each person needs to like.
Hold their own pretty hard.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Wait, is this like an interview show now?
Yeah, we're grilling you.
I thought we were gonna discuss.
Do you really play games?
It's because we're bored of each other and you're new.
All day today.
But I got a question for you.
Okay.
Since you're a gamer, right? You'd call yourself a gamer.
Yes.
Since you're a gamer, and you know how video games work, and you love video games.
Yeah.
If you were to have a kid, would you have the kid follow those age requirements for games? Or would you go, hey, you know what? Like, you know, like a lot of people, it's like the kid could be like 5 and he's just straight murdering people in another game or whatever, right? Like, would you let the kid, like, would you have any censorship with with games the kid could play?
I mean, honestly, I think this is why, like, my husband and I are like, we're not gonna have kids because I think there's so many questions of like, how do you raise a kid like in this society now? And it's like there's so much now. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's, you know, like you have a phone and you can access literally anything, and that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I have nephews who are 9 and 7.
Yeah.
And I feel like they didn't play any video games until they were like, I want to say, like around 6 and 8.
Yeah.
So they got bullied.
Yeah, no, I don't, you know, not really, I don't think.
They're like, you don't play the games that we play.
Oh, that'd be
Can't
funny.
friends.
Gamers are now bullying non-gamers. Like, what do you mean you don't play games? You're an idiot.
I know.
It probably happened.
Only because kids, that's how they play now. Like they don't go out to play; they just go on.
No, they play Fortnite.
I know.
Like I'll see you on Fortnite.
That,
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so true. Isaac does that. He comes home from school and he's like, all right, Mom, let me just play piano really quick, get my practice in. Can I go on Fortnite now? And then I
Yeah.
hear him talking to his friends.
That's them playing basketball with each other. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, invite them over.
Am I crazy? But I think Fortnite kind of blows. Am I?
I don't even know what that is. I mean, I know it's a game.
You like Fortnite? It's okay if you do.
This is another thing where it's like I feel a lot of pressure when I play Fortnite, but
Like they expect you to be good.
yeah, I just feel like I have a lot of like, I'm like, I want to do really well for my team, so if I'm not really good at it, I'm like, you know what? this is just not the game for me. And there's plenty of other games that I feel like I have.
Oh, that's so funny. I used to play. You remember Counter-Strike? Mm-hmm. I used to play that.
Fuck
and then
yeah.
I used to suck so hard at that game.
I would fucking piss my team the fuck off, dude. I used to throw a flashbang
that
immediately
guy.
as soon as we went in, and then the whole team would get flashbanged. They're like, fuck, and then everyone gets gunned down. And I was like, sorry guys, wrong button and shit. Oh, it was a blast.
You're a dick. You want to be a hero, and you think you're doing the right thing.
No, not me. I wanted to fuck with them.
He's a troll, yeah.
Dude, we
trying to
went
get everybody
to
killed.
No.
we went to Florida last year, and we went to like this arcade thing. What's that?
Andretti's?
Yeah.
It's sick.
And
It's
we're all
like,
playing
it's
like
like what
this-
Dave and Buster's trying to be.
Yeah,
We're
fuck
playing
yeah.
like this racing game, and we suck, right? We all suck. We're all crashing into stuff, and we're all trying to get the hang of the steering wheel, and because it's like virtual reality-ish.
It's fucking sick.
So then we're playing and we're all trying to beat each other, and then this fucker out of nowhere starts crashing into all of our cars for no reason.
He's that guy when you play a game.
For no reason.
Because it's a game. Because it's fun.
He's a friendly fire guy.
Yeah, I'm a friendly
Yeah.
fire guy. Big time, big time, big time.
You're the friendly fire guy on purpose. I'm the friendly fire guy not on purpose.
I see. You're just trying to help your team win.
I'm really trying, and then I'm like, I didn't know that was the grenade.
I think it's because I suck at games so bad that I'm angry at games.
Oh.
But I also think that a lot of people, especially back when I played games a lot, like Counter-Strike, people take it so fucking serious that I just can't. I can't.
Yeah, there
I
were
can't
teams
understand
that ran on that shit. I mean, that was like the beginning of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to go back on the question of like, how do you measure kids and what they play? I don't know. I mean, you guys.
So you wouldn't know if you would have your kid follow it or not?
I think following is definitely like that would be the good parameters to try to go for.
Because I feel like that's the minority. I feel like most people don't really have them.
It's like our movies, right? Like we all watched it when we were like 13.
I feel like most people don't follow. Like the random 12-year-old that's surfing Netflix is probably watching hella rated R shit.
I don't know. I mean, like when we were kids, like I'm sure we watched a ton of like our.
I saw Reservoir Dogs at like 5th grade or something.
Oh yeah, I was seeing titties 5th grade, 6th grade.
Freddy Krueger, yeah. I got boners off of that.
The way we grew
That's
up.
weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Because
No, not Freddy Krueger, but the scenes.
The
There were
titties.
like titty scenes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Off of Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Because of the way we grew up, though, Casey always wants to let Isaac watch like rated R movies or like way crazier movies, and I'm like, no, like that was the way we grew up. That's not the new way, like the new standard, whatever. Like I don't care if we saw rated R movies when we were 10. Like I'm not gonna let Isaac do that.
What grade is he now?
He's in 5th grade. So,
Oh, he's seen it now.
Yeah, we've been.
so
we were
listen, like
watching-
whatever he's been exposed to at his dad's, I can't control that, and I know he's been exposed to some shit over there. Like I know for sure because he comes back and like he's humming certain things from certain movies where I'm like, wait, how'd you?
Isn't that striptease? That's a classic, Mom.
That is a classic.
No, and then so like I know he's being exposed to things I can't control in his dad's, and I'm like, well, that's just out of my hands. I can't do nothing about that. But when he's in my house, he's not watching that shit. He's not being exposed to that shit. Like,
What's your thought process behind it?
Well, because for me, it's like there's age restrictions for a reason, right? Like when a child is developing his mind, like his mental health, like it's not. If it's not appropriate, like if more like smarter, more educated people that have researched this shit have determined that a child at the age of 10 can't watch a PG-13 movie or whatever, then I'm just gonna follow that. Cause I'm like, there's professionals that already figured this shit out. Like I'm not gonna try to go against that.
On the flip side, so like let's say, and I agree with you, and I think whatever you want to do with your kid, I think that's ultimately your choice. But just playing devil's advocate, like on the flip side, if professionals figured out that algebra is for 8th graders, but he figured it out when he's in 5th grade, are you gonna stop him there too?
No, of course not, because then that's helping.
There's no element of mental risk.
Yeah.
So
But
the
no,
mental and emotional risk. So watching a R movie, what is the benefit
But Bart,
of the risk?
development,
Yeah.
they usually deal with themes that are maybe more.
Yeah, like there's emotional development.
Right.
Yeah.
I
It depends on the
actually
movie.
see what Bart's saying though. Bart's saying that like if like when you're in this age, you're capable of thinking like
Yeah.
way above your like we all know people who are like it's like I can't believe this person's only this age because they're so cool for their age and all that kind of shit.
Well, because of that reason, I'm not like super rigid on that rule. I'm not like, nope, it's a PG-13 movie. You're only 11 years old. You're not gonna watch this. No, I'm not like that either because I try to watch the movie first before I allow him to watch it, or if
Oh, that's pretty tight.
or if we're in the theater
Yeah.
and like it's a PG-13 movie and there's like a lot of violence. When he was younger, now I feel like he's matured too, because you also have to know your kid.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know my kid. I know what he can handle, what he, you know, like whatever he could be exposed to. So if I know he can handle whatever he's watching, then that's fine. But when he was younger and we would go watch older movies, like I'll cover his eyes, or I'll be like, no, this is a little too extreme or whatever. So I'll try to.
Like during Garfield or something.
No.
But do you remember being that age? I'm not even really debating with you. It's just so interesting because I remember being 10 in a movie theater, my dad reaching over, covering my eyes during a titty scene, and I was like, I've seen titties. This guy can fucking close my eyes if he wants,
Yeah.
but this is really dumb.
No, I know, because I've been in those shoes too. Like I remember my parents would cover my eyes when there would be people kissing, like just kissing, and I'd be like, that would make me want to see it even more.
Yes, it really did.
So I get that
never
too, because
got
I've been in
that.
that. I've been in that
neither.
situation.
My parents would be like, woo!
I remember I saw Dangerous Minds with my mom. And,
Oh shit!
and I was like super young, and I came out of there, and my mom's like, the high school scene, that's the high school near us. And that's the only thing that she commented on about Dangerous Minds.
Never
That it
saw
was
that. Was
about
it
the high
crazy?
school that's the high school that I went
What
to.
happens in the movie that's so?
I mean,
All kinds of
it's
shit.
all gangster stuff.
Gangsters, drugs,
Yeah.
sex things.
Because like my mom let me watch American Pie when I was like 13.
That's wild.
I know, but she.
Are there bad scenes? It's just him
lot.
pumping a pie, right?
Well, but that's all sexual.
No, Shannon Elizabeth's like naked in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got a
right,
nice rack.
She's the foreign exchange student. or
My
whatever.
mom, she let me watch it, but because she already saw it before me.
Yeah.
So then she was like, because I kept hearing about it at school and I kept asking her, and I'm like,
Yeah.
can I see it, whatever? And she was like, okay, fine, I'll let you see it, but I have to fast forward all the crazy parts. So then like right before something crazy would happen, she'd pause it. She'd be like, okay, go over there, so I wouldn't see the screen.
So then you're like, what's this movie about? You never saw the pie fuck scene? That's the fucking whole
yeah, she
thing.
fast forward that part.
What about when a dog's fucking them? Is that part 2?
I don't remember, but she
Does that
fast
happen?
she
I forgot
fast
about
forwarded
that.
a lot.
Yeah, like the dog gets into the, and then the door opens and the whole family comes
But that
out.
worked for me though, because I felt like cool. I got to see, like I kind of understand enough of the movie.
You got the Cliff's
to,
notes.
Yeah, to feel like I'm not missing out anymore.
I always wondered like that stuff like with the video games and everything, because there's like there's video games and there's always backlash or pros and cons or negative or positive effects for everything, and I kind of like feel the same way about movies or even about like the math example I brought with algebra, and there's even that with like sports, right? Like there's certain sports you need your bodies to be a certain way, like Taika learning how to ride a bicycle right now is probably a bad idea because he doesn't have balance. He's gonna have scrapes and bruises all over his face. So there's a certain age where you want him to ride a bike, but what if at 2 all of a sudden he's like way ahead of the curve? Then do I want to hold him back? Yes, there's a lot of injuries and there's a lot of negative things and physical trauma that he can have. And I'm always just like wondering, like as a gamer, because that to me is usually out of everything that's put on the table that's age restricted, gaming is usually the number one thing. Because just people are like, oh yeah, because of this violence, they're at school beating kids up or whatever, you know. So I was just like, if we have a gamer,
Yeah, I mean, like to your point, like the Shaun Whites of the world, right? Like he was snowboarding when it was like really dangerous, and he was like tiny and he was little, but he was still doing it.
Yeah.
And most esports players are super young. They're like 16, 17 years old because their Twitch muscles are just so fat.
13.
yeah. So they for sure have been playing games way older than what's suited for them, right?
Yeah,
years to
it's an
even
interesting
get that
question. And you know, I think we're living in a world where it's so easy to try to like keep kids away from so many things now, when we actually grew up on a time where it was just like we were exposed to a lot of things because I think our parents were exposed at the same time, and they were looking at new technology and all this
Yeah,
stuff too. And
that's
so it's
true.
like, I
I'm
don't
just
know.
trying to protect the world because I know my kid's gonna have psychopathic tendencies. So I'm like, not even for the kid for their mind. It's like, if that motherfucker's playing this game, he might not know reality from fake, and he might kill people.
He might be like me, yeah.
The prophecy has been told.
Okay, so when I was a kid, my parents restricted me from all sex things.
And now you're so horny.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I went the other way. And they were like, don't use bad words. I went the other way there. You know, everything about me is because my parents parents tried to repress all that shit.
Same.
It's all the don'ts.
That's
the
all
don'ts
me.
that create you.
Fucked me up, dude. I used to think that sex was bad.
Yeah.
And because you equate it with bad. So like one time my mom caught me in a bookstore. I was like trying to read a fucking sex scene in a romance novel because I wanted to understand sex and shit.
Yeah.
And I was punished for that. And like so shit like that fucks with a kid and makes them remember that sex and things that we all like. Who doesn't want to have more sex in their life, like with their partner or whatever? Like that's a good thing, isn't it? Well, no, because some people are psychologically fucked about sex.
Yeah.
And so to them, they've attributed shame from mom and dad.
Yeah.
And so it affects them later on in life.
I was one of those guys.
That's me.
All these guidelines actually not scientific. A lot of it's religious based. MPAA bullshit that they shove down our fucking throats because they're afraid to actually talk to their kids about sex or violence or drugs or whatever.
That's probably what it is,
That's the
mainly.
shit that pisses me the fuck off.
Same.
It's all religious based. It's a religious fucking class system, and then we're all supposed to raise our kids according to the way that the church wants us to raise our kids. And I say fuck that.
Unless it's scientifically proven.
Right.
Which in many cases, it's like every generation has its like, oh, let's blame the movies, let's blame TV,
Yes.
let's blame cartoons,
Yes.
let's blame.
There's no evidence for
There's
that
no
shit.
evidence.
And
Yeah.
What's scary is sometimes even the scientists, because they're religious, they're trying to push their religious agenda through science, and they kind of arc things a certain way too.
So you just can't trust anything.
The MPAA is not set up from studies and shit. That shit is set up from
Well, there is
people
some
with
truth.
sticks up their asses, like being religious dictators in their own little houses.
There is some correlation with, like, for example, Ted Bundy and serial killers that enjoy horror movies that slay women. Or like, there's child killers in Japan, like what do you call it? Like they're not children killers, they're kids that kill kids, right? And they'll just watch horror movies like nonstop all day long, and then they get obsessed, and then they go out and then they look for other kids to kill and chop them up and shit like that.
With Ted Bundy, it was also tied with like sexual frustration, right? And
It
like
was tied
sexual
with- he was,
oppression.
I think molested and like all these other weird things. And then, but it was, he started associating sexual behavior with horror and slashing and things like that.
But the tail
So-
shouldn't wag the dog, right?
Well, I mean, like, you're gonna have your 1 in a million, in any case.
In any case.
But it is kind of supplying pleasure for those type of people and then making it okay.
But trying to set up laws for the many, for
Treating everyone like a psychopath is not right, though.
Well, and that's where parenting comes into play, right? Because if you're younger, and I mean, you should be supervising the youth and seeing if this kid is constantly watching horror movies and there's like weird behavior, you kind of want to question that and step in and talk about.
In most cases, this happens because parents are not there, or they're drunk, or they're gone, or they're on drugs,
Dude,
or
in
they're beating up their own kids, or they're fucking their own kids. You know what I mean? Like,
in Europe, you turn on the TV, you see nudity.
Joe's outfit just sounds so crazy. He's so passionate about it. He just looks so.
In Europe, you turn on the TV, you see nudity, you see sex things.
See, that's
it's
the
not
thing.
bad, and there's not more murder, not more
No.
sex things.
In the commercials, daytime commercials, there's nudity.
So
there.
we're the ones who do this religious orthodoxy bullshit.
and then that holding back actually makes us crazier.
Yes, makes us fucking machines.
I learned just a few days ago that like Japan used to be super hypersexual and like all the artwork and stuff used to have like nudity all over the place, and then it wasn't until like Westerners came in around the Edo era.
We're fucking Neanderthals for doing that.
Yeah.
And then now we're even more hornier. Damn.
Yeah, it's sexual oppression. So don't be oppressed by sex.
Yeah, so if you want to raise your kid and you're like, I'm gonna wait till they're 13 for PG-13, it's not because it's not because of science or anything. You don't have to worry about that. If it's your personal preference, that's great.
Yeah.
But like, you don't have to worry about like, oh, well, somebody smarter than me figured it out already, and I'll just go by their guidelines.
Titties were never wrong in Japan, and then it became wrong because
Titties are never wrong.
These are never wrong.
No, titties are
ever wrong.
Like it's the Western perspective that titties are wrong, right? You got to cover up, you fucking barbarian. But there's oyster diver women. They're like, this is uncomfortable to wear anything on
all
top.
in Europe right now.
Like it's like, yeah, just the titties were out, right?
It's an elbow.
Basically, it's
Free
it's
the
a body
fucking
part.
nipple, free
Right.
the titty, get them out. Get them out right now. If
I
you're sitting
agree.
there, get them out.
Just let the titties hang out.
That's it.
Liberate women.
That's it.
I'm down with
Going
that.
back on your thing though, so you're saying don't worry about the guidelines.
Yeah, I don't.
Take it with a grain of salt.
And that's what I do. So that is what I do. So if it's like a crazy ass rated R movie, like a Tarantino movie and shit, I'm like, okay, my 10-year-old kid cannot.
And like I said, that's a personal preference, and that's your decision, and I fully support that. But I wouldn't look to person in ivory tower, MPAA or whatever, and say like, well,
They figured it out.
They're covering it for me. Like, fuck that.
By second grade, I knew this was created at a film set, or this was drawn as a cartoon. Like, by that time, if you don't understand, you're a fucking moron. That kid's a moron. You gotta wait a little bit longer until they understand that this is all fake shit. Like, once you recognize that it's fake shit, yes, it's still scary, but then I think it changes your perception about this is entertainment and this is not affecting me like it's reality.
Yeah, like when I used to watch movies with my mom, she covered me from all the sexual stuff too.
Not the fighting.
Not the fighting, because I think it's just part of martial arts and it was cool. But I think one thing that I always thought was pretty cool was like, and she also just really likes lecturing me. But I think like anytime we're watching a movie, the thing that she always stressed is like the transformation of character. So I think because of that, and also knowing like in second grade that movies like are just shot on a film set, like Indiana Jones is shot somewhere else. He's not really an actual explorer or whatever, he's just an actor. So when I started watching movies with that lens, no matter how gory or whatever it is, I just understood, oh cool, it's just a way to tell a story and the transformation of character, and that's kind of the things that I focused on. So I feel like the kids that are left at home and just were able to watch all the crazy ass movies without any guidance, those are the ones that are probably gonna have trouble. But if you have someone that's like either covering the eyes or doing some sort of
Teaching.
So it's guiding their mindset. If they are absorbing content that's above their normal age, but if they can be guided and categorized in a certain way, I
That's
feel like it's
definitely
good.
what we try to do too. Like if we go to the theater and we haven't seen the movie before or whatever, and then we end up seeing some shit and he'll ask us questions. Obviously, like we'll be like, yeah, so we'll guide him through whatever it was that he was exposed to.
And that's dope. That's parenting. That's sick.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to the whole sex
Communication,
thing,
awesome.
because I know of all that shit and I went through it myself, because it like hiding the kisses from me, whatever, just made me want to look.
Because you're so horny now?
Exactly, I'm so fucking horny all the time. No, so like I always try to have that conversation available for him, like forever, ever since he was a little kid. Like I always try to make it very clear, like sex is normal.
Yeah.
Your body's normal. You talk to me about whatever.
Yeah, like in 4th grade, my friend's dad let us borrow his Playboy because we like the articles.
If anything, I think our generation has become really, really good with communicating, whether it's like with each other. It's like
Way better than our parents.
Like this.
My parents suck at
Yeah, they
communicating.
are advancing way faster, so they're more mature. So it's like,
It's being able to talk to your kids frankly, right? And just being able to lay it out, because they are sponges and they're so capable of learning so much. And if you're there to guide them, to be like, this was this, and you know, this is what happened, or whatever it is, I think they can learn so much.
Dude, I never got the sex talk. I still don't even know what it is.
I didn't get one.
my mom just told me not to buy hookers.
What? She said.
Really?
How old were you? 8?
9th grade?
I've been saving up the
He has his hooker jar.
hooker jar.